friends. I haven't uploaded in a while. To be honest, I just haven't really felt the inspiration or really had any topics necessarily come to mind that I wanted to talk about. But I have had this sort of new, or I guess new to me anyway, um, way of thinking and looking at this non dual experience. And I know it's not new for a lot of people in this space, but it is something that kind of just recently clicked for me anyway. And so I just wanted to kind of talk to you about that and tell you about that. So I've listened to a lot of non dual and, just kind of people in this category talk about this topic. And when people talk about kind of what the non dual experience is like, a lot of people call it the now or spaciousness or awareness or whatever you want to call it. And of course, all of these are just words that we use to point to something else. But a word that I have heard quite a bit that I guess I never really understood or liked per se was the word this. I've heard teachers and speakers refer to kind of this truth as this, or it's just this, or, some variation of that. And to me, that always just seemed very like kind of indirect, I guess, which obviously doesn't make any sense, but it just seemed always like, okay, you say this, what exactly are you talking about? Or they'll say, it's just this. And when I was trying to see that through the lens of thought, right, or through the lens of the intellect and trying to understand that, I was like, what is this? Like, what are you talking about? What does this or it's just this even mean? And to me, it was always just kind of like, it just seemed kind of like a scapegoat in a way, or it just kind of seemed like, I don't know, just you don't know what else to say, so you're just going to say it's just this. But, as I kind of meditated upon that thought, it was like, okay, this, what does that mean exactly? Like, if someone says, oh, it's just this, or just the word this in this spiritual context, like, what does that mean, or how can I understand that? And I kind of came to realize that when someone or a teacher or whoever refers to this truth or this reality as this, it's really an attempt to go beyond thinking or go beyond your present moment experience through the lens of thought and trying to go straight to the experience itself. And so I kind of realized what this really means. This, just this, like this experience that is occurring right now, and not the experience through the lens of an individual or seeing it through your eyes as a person, but just the experience itself. We talk about awareness and being and isness and God, or whatever, again, as I said before, whatever word you want to use, the words are all themselves just a pointer to a greater truth. They're all just a signpost on the roadmap. So when I thought about it more and I kind of contemplated on it, and I was able to kind of just see it for what it is as opposed to trying to understand it through thinking, I realized that, this experience, this present moment, right? We talk about the present moment a lot in, this community, and a lot of times the mind likes to think of the present moment as a contrast between the past and the future. But in reality, the present moment doesn't exist in contrast to the past or the future, or in contrast to anything. The present moment is all there is. And, you know, the present moment is also not, like an arena where you can see it through whatever lens you want based on your way of thinking or your opinions or your emotions, right? A lot of times our thoughts and the things that our mind conjures up and our emotions and our previous um, like biases and whatever tends to be the lens through which we see the present moment or the world. And in reality, the thoughts and emotions and mental roller coasters that we go on are not a lens or a filter through which we experience the world, but rather they are simply phenomena or form or contents or whatever that are arising in this present moment. And so, kind of that subtle shift between those things being a lens through which you experience the world to those things being just a part of the experience itself. And so I've kind of found myself using the word this, which again is just a word and it's not the ultimate truth, it's simply a pointer. But I have found myself using the word this kind of as like a mantra or as okay, I'm catching myself getting lost in thought or lost in emotion or getting really reactive to the things happening around me. And when I come back and I just say, it's this, just this. And I really realize that, those reactions are happening, those emotions or thoughts, or, I don't like this, or whatever is occurring is just another thing. It's just another particle of this, or of the present moment, or of awareness, or it's an object of awareness, or whatever you want to call it. But just really realizing that the individual self, the person, right, the separation is an appearance of the one unity. It is not the ultimate truth. Separation, right, being an individual self, is not the truth. It is an appearance in this or in the now, right? Or in God or whatever. We don't need to nitpick or fight about the words. But all of it, every apparent separation, every apparent contradiction, every apparent contrast between this and that, or good and bad, or pleasant, unpleasant, it's all just phenomena occurring here. And so I personally have found it very helpful um, to use to use the word this as kind of okay, you know, I'm getting lost. I'm getting trapped again. And I found it very helpful as a tool to just come back to what is, to realign myself with the isness of everything. And so maybe for you, this, right, doesn't quite resonate. I know for myself, for quite a long time, it just seemed like I said, like a scapegoat, or just like a word that you're going to use when you don't know what else to say. But it really is just such a simplification of this truth. It's a very easy way to remind yourself of what the truth is when you get lost. And so, whether it's this, or be here now, or a breath, or a mantra, or a quote that you like, or a thought of something, or whatever it is, I think it can be helpful to have some kind of tool or some kind of something, right? That you can use to kind of pull yourself out of that muck when you find yourself getting caught in all of those things. Because it's just a reality that, you know, unless you're a super enlightened person, which I'm not, that you are going to have moments where you do get caught in thought and reaction and all of those things. And it's not a failure on your part, there's nothing wrong with it, but you're going to suffer. You're going to be in resistance to the isness of life when you are trapped and identified with those thoughts and opinions and emotions. So I would just encourage you today to meditate on this, or find whatever it is for yourself that you can use as a tool to come back to this, to now, to isness, to presence, because that is where the true freedom and the true peace are found. And it's not hard, but the mind likes to make it hard. So, we can truly be in a state of pure awareness and peace. And maybe you can do that without needing anything. And if you can, that's wonderful. And I'm actually very happy for you, because that's awesome. But for some of us, we just need a little something to help us remember. And so today, I hope you find that. And I hope you simply remember that God and presence is available right now, and you can take hold of it. You are it. So just come back. Thank you for watching. Bye.